Hi, I'm Jill Starr, President and founder of Lifesavers Wild Horse Rescue. Welcome to the Lancaster Ranch. We're 1.5 hours northeast of Los Angeles in sunny and sometimes windy California. As you know, Lifesavers is a nonprofit organization dedicated to saving American Mustangs from abuse, slaughter, and many other circumstances where they may suffer. We also rescue domestic horses that are in trouble. I want to personally thank you for all you have done to help us rescue hundreds, literally hundreds of horses to date. Without you, all of these horses would surely be dead. With the help of Ryan Merchant and Sierra Filmworks, who is donating the making of this video, we are able to give you an up-close and personal look at the horses you have saved, the way your donation dollars are being used, and why we need you to continue your support of our life-saving programs. When we first started rescuing horses more than 10 years ago, we only had a few rescue horses to worry about. But we have rescued more than 450 since then. Currently, we have more than 200 horses under our care. In 1997, Lifesavers operated on a barren piece of land, only 16.5 acres, and now our rescue ranch has grown to 46 acres. This is where we bring in rescued horses for assessment to see what their needs are, and for rehabilitation. For instance, if they're undernourished, we put them on a healthy weight-gaining diet, and this is where we determine whether the rescued horse is going to be a candidate for adoption. If so, we schedule them for a training program to prepare them for domestic life. We also have a very busy educational program. We hold clinics and workshops open to the public where we teach proper horse care, handling, training, and even special classes to overcome your fear of horses. All those educational programs are done at the Lifesavers Ranch in Lancaster, California. But we also have another location that's equally important. It's the Born to be Wild Natural Habitat Sanctuary for wild horses. The sanctuary is 160 acres of rugged, undeveloped land. It's about 2 hours northwest of our Lancaster property in a little town called Twin Oaks. So, my friend, you can see that we've put your contributions to work. I hope you're pleased with what I'm sharing with you, because I am. I am eternally grateful to you for making it possible for us to continue rescuing and caring for horses in need. But the need is still critical. There are more and more horses being removed from their ranges with no homes waiting for them. There are horses being abused and neglected with no hope of rescue. And right now I have to turn away desperate calls for help because we have run out of room, resources, and manpower that we would need to take on more rescued horses. But I have a plan, and I'll need your help. We can expand our sanctuary from 160 acres to 3,000 acres. We can then release 100 or more horses at the sanctuary. They will live as nature intended with little human intervention. Part of the year we won't even have to purchase hay for them because they'll be grazing off the hillsides. This will free up space and resources at the Lancaster Rescue Ranch. We need to raise $3 million to purchase the 3,000 acres. This is in beautiful Twin Oaks, California, so you can see what gorgeous terrain this is, what natural rugged beauty there is up here. In a little while I'll take you down and show you where the horses are and release Goose, who we brought up from the Lancaster Ranch. He's going to be set free and you'll get to witness that. This is the feeding end of the sanctuary. We have to feed these horses. There's not enough grazing. 160 acres sounds like a lot, but when you put 70 horses now out on this land, they eat it up pretty fast, and of course we have to feed them so they don't go hungry. Once we start feeding them, they tend to just congregate in the feeding area and wait for the next load of feed to come through. They don't really walk around as much as they should, which would wear their feet down and keep them healthy. And they don't get the exercise they would normally if they were on a larger parcel of land. So there's lots of reasons that we're trying to expand this sanctuary. Much of it has to do with the health of the horses. Another thing is the health of the land itself. And you can probably see that it's kind of barren right here. There's a lot of manure piles and sticks coming up out of the ground, and it looks sort of like the surface of the moon. It didn't used to look like that. It looked just like the hillsides or some of the areas off in the distance that are not beaten down. And this is beaten down because of the horses congregate and they stand around and they basically killing the land. If they were migrating like in a natural sense where they moved from grazing spot to grazing spot, this would still have grass on it, it would still have these bushes growing, and it would look like a healthy piece of land. So I'm worried about the land as well as the horses. Ah, sweet freedom. Animal control was called out to a property one evening about some cattle that were being abused. A couple of rancher type people were having a branding party with cattle that they owned. They had 6 of them hogtied on the ground and they were putting brands on these young cattle. Each cattle had already about 10 brands. Not only did they have multiple brands, but they were branded all the way through the hide into the muscle. Animal control immediately arrested the guys and picked up all 6 cattle and put them in a trailer to take them away. As they were driving off the property, it was late at night, headlight caught a little movement, and the officer driving stopped and decided to get out of the truck and go into the grassy area. And she got over there, she found this little horse. 3 of his 4 legs were tied together and he was laying on the ground. He had a halter on that was tied to a tree, so his head was actually hanging a foot off the ground. He was approximately 400 pounds underweight, and he's a small horse. He can't afford 400 pounds. Near death, he had a lot of open wounds and gashes on him. They surmised that he had been there for maybe 4 or 5 days like that, maybe longer. And he was just barely alive. It was lucky for Goose that they found him. They took him too, and they untied him and he could not stand up. He had been down like that for so long, his muscles had seized and he just couldn't move. They had to actually roll him onto a blanket and drag him into the trailer to save his life. He's earned his spot at the sanctuary. For a little guy, he's had kind of a nightmare of a life already. We're down there with the horses. The sanctuary looks enormous. But from up here you can see the fence line. It's really just a corral. With your donations, we could knock that fence line down and let those horses go. We need to show you what we need your help with most of all right now. It's the expansion of the sanctuary. It's too small. We've got too many horses. On the small acreage of 160 acres, we need more like 3,000 to serve the horses we have and the ones that really need to come in, that I know you want us to help. We could go 4 miles up and over those hills. Imagine what it would look like with those hillsides dotted with wild horses grazing peacefully. We need your help. We need to buy this land for the horses. $3 million for 3,000 acres. Will you help us, please?
I'm yours in poverty, I'm yours in wealth. I stand for loyalty, I need your help. I'm part of history, this land so true. I give my life, my soul to you. And I wanna run free, I wanna be loved in the hearts of the American people. Oh, I wanna run free, I wanna be loved in the hearts of the American people. I've